You're what's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Merry Christmas, happy holidays to everybody. What's going on? What is going on? Thank you guys for stopping by the stream today. Hope you guys are all having a good day. And let's hope that we can all advance to our fantasy football championship. Or some of you guys, I think technically, some people said that they are in their championship right now. So let's eat that W, win that championship today. Why wait for next week when we can just fucking win it today? So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all you guys. Make sure you guys smash that like button aggressively on the way in. Smash that like button like it owes you some coin. And let's get into it here. Let's get on into it. So first question of the day, again, we're just going to click randomly on the screen. And then when there are super chats, those get top priority. So don't be like, oh, Nick, you skipped me. I'm not trying to skip anyone. I appreciate every single person that's in this chat. And again, I might have just made fun of you by making that voice, but obviously you guys know that's more of a joke and not something that's very serious. I love all you guys again. And I appreciate all the support we've seen. Like I tweeted out yesterday, one of the biggest videos I've ever posted on my channel came this week, which should not happen, right? Week 16 should be like the worst. So another season, baby, in the ship. Let's go. Let's do it, Jack. Let's do it, baby. Walker or Connor in my flex. I'm definitely going Walker. I feel very confident in Walker today. My fucking phone keeps vibrating because there's a lot of news. But yeah, I do believe strongly in Kenneth Walker today. I think Kenneth Walker is going to end up being top end running back this week with the ability to be the running back one. Now, the question really is, how is this game going to go? Like, is Tannehill going to elevate the Titans, or is this just going to be a shit kicking? This could be a close game. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Seahawks lost this game. Now, again, I think a lot of people are drinking the Seahawks Kool-Aid. The Seahawks are a very hard team to read every single week. Wouldn't shock me if the Seahawks come out gangbusters and are dogging. They are dogging on the Titans. And it also wouldn't surprise me if the Seahawks come out a little limp. They come out a little slow, and maybe the Titans end up beating them. Now, again, Nick, you think the Titans are going to beat them? No, I don't actually think that, but, anything's possible at this point in the season when it comes to the Seahawks. Same thing with the Titans, though. The Titans are a team that look very different from week to week. Jay, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. New York Jets, Philly, or Houston defense? I think I just have to go with the Jets. I think I just have to go with the Jets because the Jets are playing the Commanders. The Commanders are statistically the worst offense in the National Football League. Sam Howell could get pulled, which actually might be worse for the Jets defense. But a lot of reason why people panic about the Jets defense is the Jets defense could give up in this game. Well, the Jets defense gives up when they are getting absolutely blown out, right? And do we really expect them to get blown out by the Commanders, right? Like, I definitely don't. I don't expect there to be a blowout. So I would definitely lean closer to playing the Jets. And I think the Philadelphia Eagles are a great option as well up against the Giants. But the Eagles defense as a whole is actually they've been pretty bad this year. Now, they did pivot, obviously, from, I believe his name was Sean Desai. If I said his name wrong, I apologize. The defensive coordinator of the Eagles. And now they're going with pencil in the ear man, Matt Patricia. And that did appear to help on their last game. But again, I'm not holding my breath here, right? I'm not holding my breath by any means. So I think that best case scenario here is the Jumbo Jets up against the Commanders. I'm playing against the Jets in my fantasy league that I'm still alive in, my Superflex league, where I have this star-studded team. I fully expect the Jets to tuck me in and have a huge game, right? And just absolutely finish me, metaphorically, in my fantasy season. So I'm going with the Jumbo Jets. Next question. Thank you again, Jay. I appreciate you. Go with the Jets. Carlos, what's going on, man? I appreciate you. Down 15 points from week 1 of the playoff rounds. I think these are very interesting playoff settings, by the way. I've never played in a league where it was 2-round playoffs. I think that's a very fun wrinkle to things. It obviously means there's a lot less randomness because if your team just completely shits the bed one week, you can still technically come back. But it also, I think, eliminates the odds. I feel like upsets are a lot less likely in this type of a format. But again, doesn't really matter. We need to answer the question here. You guys don't give a shit about my breakdown of fantasy football playoff settings, I'm sure. Maybe one of you guys care, but the rest of you guys don't care at all. So, down 15 points from the playoffs in week 1. Pick 2 running backs and a flex. You got ETN, Hall, Chuba, Addison, Lockett, Colts, or Eagles D. Okay, the Colts versus Eagles D is very hard, so that's gonna be the last thing we talk about because I really think it could go either way there between the Colts and the Eagles. So I think we're just gonna wait on that one. So I'm just uploading my rankings, Week 16 rankings before final edition, the remix to ignition. I'm fresh out the kitchen. All right, down 15 points. You got ETN, Hall, Chuba, Addison, Lockett. Okay. For one, at running back, I don't think you can sit ETN or Brees Hall. I think that ETN to me is a guy that I know. Nick, ETN's been bad. Did you see what ETN's mom wanted for Christmas? ETN's mom wished for better offensive line play. That's how you know shit ain't sweet there, right? That's how you know stuff's going wrong when your mom's wishing for better offensive line play. But Trevor Lawrence is going to play. I think I think you'd be crazy to sit ETN. Now again, is ETN guaranteed to have a huge game? No, but I think you'd be crazy to sit or to sit ETN. So I would go ahead. I would go ahead and definitely play ETN. Same thing goes with Brees Hall. Now, the reason why I like Brees Hall a ton this week is because the matchup against the Commanders is one of the easiest matchups on the week. This is a team that I think even with Trevor Simeon's going to look to dump down the ball roughly a zillion times to Brees Hall. And I just don't know how Brees Hall could possibly bust against the Commanders. I get how he busts against great teams. I get how the game script goes so wrong in games. The game script cannot go wrong here against the Commanders. I just don't see it. So ETN and Hall are locks. Then we move into a scenario where who do you want to play at the flex? Chuba Hubbard did show up in a pretty sick game fit today. Some guy, I don't remember what team he was on, showed up in a full out fucking furry costume like a goddamn weirdo. So I definitely will not be rooting for whoever that guy is. Again, you can do whatever you want in the bedroom, but dressing as a furry to a football game is a little weird, don't you think? So, yeah, I'd go with ETN Hall. And then we are going to go, if you want your safest bet, Carlos, you go Chuba. Chuba's getting you 10 points. He's going to get you 20 carries. He's going to have a good game. Addison is the more boomer bust option, right? I could see Addison dropping 25 points. I could see Addison scoring 5 points. I'm going to lean with Chuba Hubbard. So we're going ETN Hall, Chuba, and then I would lean, if I'm being completely honest with you, I'm going to go with the upside of the Colts defense against the Falcons. So I'm going with the Colts. So Hall, Chuba, ETN, and the Colts. Robert, thank you for the super chat. Laporta or Njoku at tight end. Pick 2 receivers. Rice, Moore, Sutton. So Laporta versus Njoku is kind of one of those questions that will get you in a bit of a mental pretzel, right? Because Njoku has been on fire and Laporta has been one of the most consistent tight ends in all of fantasy football. And the upside for Laporta is also huge this week. So again, this is a question that will throw you into a mental pretzel because it is very easy to fuck a question like this up because both of these guys are so likely to be great that if you pick the wrong one and the other guy outscores them by 5 points, then you end up being a little pissed off, right? So I think as of right now, when push comes to shove, I would go with Laporta. Again, I feel like Laporta's been way more consistent this season. I get that Njoku's been balling. I don't like Njoku's matchup as much, so I'm just going to go with the guy that I trust a little bit more, and I'm going to go with Laporta. Now, again, I'm not saying that you have to play Laporta, this, that, or the other thing, but I definitely trust Laporta a little bit more. I just do. And then the next question is Rice, Sutton, or Moore. So I'm going Laporta, and then I'm going Rice, and that's between Sutton and Moore. I'm going Moore. I love Sutton. I'm a huge Sutton fan, but I think you cannot go wrong with Rashee Rice this week. And I think if you sit Moore, assuming that is DJ Moore, not Elijah Moore. If that's Elijah Moore, then it's Sutton. But I'm assuming that's DJ Moore. I'm going Rice and DJ Moore. If that is Rice and Elijah Moore, it's Rice and Sutton, and then Laporta. Thank you for the super chat. Chris, thank you for the super chat. Flowers or Wicks, Demont or Hubbard, half PPR. Now, this is another one where it's kind of like the safety versus upside argument for Demont versus Hubbard, right? I think technically Demont is safer because while he won't get as many touches, he is on a team that is about 9,000 times safer, right? Like, I don't really project Demont to shit the bed in the Lions offense, whereas Hubbard is kind of held at mercy by the Carolina Panthers offense, which obviously is a lot worse. Push comes to shove here. We're going to go with David Montgomery, though. I feel a little bit more confident in David Montgomery, and this could be a huge David Montgomery game that a lot of us maybe don't even see coming. And then we are going to go ahead and go with Flowers versus Wicks. Look, a lot of people like Wicks, and I think Wicks is a talented player and all, but I would go ahead and go with Zay Flowers. I like Zay Flowers a ton. Zay Flowers is a very high upside player. Again, both these guys have pretty low floors, so I'm just going to go with the guy that I project to be in a game that could be very high scoring back and forth, and I think that could help Flowers out a ton. So Flowers and Demont in half PPR. Racia, thank you for the super chat. Let me find your question real quick. What's up, Caitlin? How you doing? Merry Christmas to everybody. Racia, again, if I say your name wrong, I apologize. I've said this a million times, but I'm not a I'm not stupid, but I do know what love is, Janet, right? I'm not saying that, but I am definitely not the best at pronouncing things. Anyone that knows me knows that. In person, bad at pronouncing shit. Njoku or McBride, Chandler or Ford. Oh, Jesus, this is another tough one. Definitely going Chandler over Ford. Again, Chandler is potentially getting cucked slightly by Madison, but I'm still going Chandler, even though Madison's playing. And then Njoku or McBride, I'm going to go ahead and go with... Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm going with... I'm just going to look at my rankings. I have Njoku at 5, McBride at 3. Again, it's a fucking toss-up. These are such tough questions. I guess that's what happens when you make it all the way as far. We're going to go ahead and go with McBride, though, over Njoku. Again, McBride's a guy that's going to get 10-plus targets this week. This is a team that has no one. I'm telling you, they don't have a single wide receiver that is healthy. So I'm going to go ahead and go with McBride. And then we're going Chandler over Ford because I like Chandler a lot more. He's just a higher upside pick. Sickbot says Tyreek, A.J. Brown, Rashee Rice, Evans, pick 2. Pollard, Montgomery, Connor, great question. So Tyreek's a lock. If you sit Tyreek Hill, you're cruising for a bruising. This is another tough fucking question, but I'm going Tyreek, AJ Brown, and Evans. I get that Rashee Rice has been a lot safer than a guy like AJ Brown or even Mike Evans, but look, when you need to put your cojones on the table here and win a fucking fantasy football semifinal matchup to get to the championship, right? You can't get cute and play Rashee Rice when you have legitimately 3 receivers in the NFL that you can argue. Now, maybe some people won't argue that Evans is the best receiver in the NFL, but I could make an argument about that. I think Evans is amazing. So you have 3 of the top 10 receivers in the NFL, top 12, and then you have Rashee Rice, right? You're going to sit Rashee Rice again. I love Rashee Rice. I don't want this to sound like I hate Rashee Rice, but that's just legitimately how I feel. So Tyreek, AJ Brown, Evans, you just have to play them. I like all of their matchups. I think Tyreek is going to go crazy today against the Cowboys. Pollard, Montgomery, or James Conner. This is another one where I'm not going to get cute. I know James Conner has played really, 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 really well recently, but I don't know if I could start James Conner over Montgomery because I'm definitely going to play Pollard. Let's consult the rankings here right quick. In a jiffy, as they say. So I got Conner at running back 27. Again, I don't mind Conner, but like the Chicago Bears defense is sneaky good against the run. I think I'd rather just do David Montgomery. So we're going to do Tyreek, AJ Brown, Evans, Pollard, and David Montgomery. Next question here. I apologize. You had to super chat twice when I was going to answer it anyways. I apologize. I would definitely, like I said, McBride over Njoku. Again, both of these players have been on fire, but I'd rather just lead with the guy that I trust a little bit more, and I've trusted McBride for a longer period of time than Njoku. And then Chandler or Ford, I definitely like Chandler a lot better because even with Madison back, I feel like Chandler's in the driver's seat based upon everything that their head coach said. And then Ford is a guy that's only getting like 8 to 10 touches a game, and that frankly doesn't cut it. What's up, John? How you doing? Jay, half PPR, 2 running backs, and 1 at the flex. Bijan, Gibbs, JT, Gus, Wicks. All right. Well, again, this is another scenario where you just can't get cute. I understand that Bijan Robinson basically spit roasted you last week. I get that Bijan Robinson absolutely sold us up the fucking river. I'm not going to sit here and lie straight to your face and be like, oh, Bijan had a great game last week. No, he didn't. Bijan's the reason why I'm not in the playoffs in one of my leagues, which pisses me off because I easily should have won that game if he just had a halfway decent game. I wasn't asking for him to be I don't even know, like Barry Sanders or something out there. I was just asking for a decent fucking game, and he bends me over the table. But you're not sitting Bijan. I'm sorry to tell you. I think that's pretty obvious, though, to most people. You cannot be sitting Bijan Robinson, especially since there's a chance that Arthur Smith just uncorks him after a week of basically throwing him onto the bench. So we're going Bijan, Gibbs, and JT. Again, this is a classic scenario of don't get cute. I do think that Gus Edwards could end up outscoring Bijan Robinson, but again, that is getting very cute against the 49ers run defense. That is very, very scary. So I am going to lean on the side of caution and not play the as risky player. So we're to go ahead and go with Bijan, Gibbs, JT, and that's the answer there. Pittman is out. Yeah, I was shocked to see that. Full PPR, one flex, Zeke or Ridley. All right. So Ridley's a guy that basically over his last 2-3 games should have been scoring 25 plus points. Now, that's what the expected point total tells you, right? The expected points for a fantasy player is one of those tools that in the past I kind of didn't agree with because it's like, oh, if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle type of deal, right? Where it's like, yeah, if fucking Ridley decided to score that touchdown, or if Ridley decided to catch a ball that he had wide open that he dropped, then yeah, he would have scored more fantasy points. No shit, buddy. But I do actually think that Ridley deserves more credit than he's been given. But at the same time, I think I'd rather just. All right, I'm gonna give you two answers. If you want to be safe, play Zeke. If you want more upside, play Ridley. I'm more of a risky guy. I'm going Ridley. Frank, what's up, my man? Thank you for the super chat. Washington or Bears defense? Now, I see a lot of people talking up the Bears defense. A lot of people giving the metaphorical gawk gawk 9,000 to the Bears defense, and I get it, right? I get it. They're playing up against the Cardinals. But the Commanders are playing up against Trevor fucking Simeon. I just don't see Trevor Simeon doing that great. But then again, like Breece Hall could just carry them to having a good game. I guess. I mean, not I guess. Like I know. My opinion is I have the Bears ranked at 8. I have the Commanders ranked at 13. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Bears. I think the Bears are potentially fugazi, but the Bears defense has been really good as of recently. Like when the Bears team actually has looked good, it's because the defense, the offense played well too, but the defense has really stepped up. So I'm gonna go with the Bears over the Commanders. Big dog pound. Woo! Ric Flair, Merry Christmas to you. I got Hawk at tight end, flexing 2 in PPR. Laporta, Bijan. Do I replace any of them with my bench players? Gus Edwards, Chandler, Ridley, Nico, Cousin. Let's go bowling. All right. Another question that will keep you up at night. Let's go. Okay, let's go. Fucking sound like Dak Prescott. Let's go. Sorry, I didn't mean to groan at you. Not mad at you. I'm mad at the decisions you have to make because this is a really tough one. I think I'm playing Bijan. The question is, am I playing Laporta or am I playing Ridley, Chandler, Nico? I think you got it right. I mean, I know Laporta's not the safest bet, but Laporta's been such a consistent tight end this season. I think I'm just going to go ahead and go with my gut. And my gut is telling me, oh my gosh. My gut is telling me to stick with who you got. I would go. Yeah, I'm sticking Laporta and Bijan. I like Nico, but again, you're going Nico with Case Keenum against the Browns. You don't want to do that. I like Ridley. I like all these guys you got, but I think I'm going to stick with who you have, Bijan and Laporta. I feel pretty safe with Laporta, not so much Bijan, but again, I don't think you really have a choice there. Wesley, thank you for the super chat. Need some help. Second seed in the playoffs. Running backs are Bijan, Kyron already played. Gibbs in the flex. Wide receivers are St. Brown, Hopkins, Kelsey. Players on the bench. A-Chain, Collins, Pittman, McBride. Thanks. Ah, shit. Your flex is Gibbs. All right, what I'm doing is take Bijan out of your lineup, and we're playing McBride over Bijan. You don't have any receivers that I feel confident enough to play over Hopkins. I'm not playing A-Chain. We're taking Bijan out, and we're playing McBride. McBride's going to get 7 gazillion targets. We have to play McBride in 99.99999% of scenarios. fuck. I've never heard someone yet. I know you said this 8 minutes ago. You said the word frop. I don't think I've ever heard that word frop in my life. Please, did you mean drop? Is frop a word? That's funny as fuck. If frop is a word, I've never heard of it in my life. But yeah. So the reason why I would take Bijan out is I think here you want a guy that's a little bit safer. But I think Bijan. I'm gonna be honest. This might sound crazy, but I think Bijan and McBride actually have the same amount of upside. I know I just said I liked Bijan. I do kind of like Bijan, but I think I'd rather go McBride. So take Bijan out, throw Gibbs as the RB1, and then put in put in put in McBride as your flex. So take Bijan out, throw Gibbs as the RB2, and put McBride in as the flex. Sherry, what's up, Sherry? How you doing? Question sent? Question mark. Okay, let me look for your question then. Let me look for your question. I don't have YouTube pulled up right now, so this might be a fucking issue. So you might have to send it again. Sherry. All right, let's look here. Let's take a look. See. All right. I'm looking for Sherry's question here. So let's hop to Andrew real quick, and we'll go back to Sherry when my computer decides to load. Chandler or Singletary? I think based upon the news about, make sure you guys hit the like button. There's only 27 likes, guys. What the hell? All right. But yeah, make sure you guys hit the like button. I think I would go still. I'm still kind of feeling Chandler, if I'm being honest with you. Resending. Okay, thank you, Sherry. I appreciate it. I apologize that it got fucked up. It's because I didn't have the chat open on my other screen. I'm sorry. Yeah, so Chandler versus Singletary. I'm still gonna go with Chandler because I like Chandler's matchup better. Singletary's in a really tough spot this week. I could still see Singletary having a good game, but again, you're really hinging on the spot when we've already gotten coaches' bias that Chandler is going to be getting the touches. That while Madison's back, he's not even fully healthy, so he's kind of just coming back as like the number 2. So I definitely would go with. I mean, Madison's coming back to be the number 2, so I definitely go Chandler over Singletary personally. Phoenix. And again, Sherry, I'll answer your question in a second. I see it. Are we starting Wicks over Odell? Again, Wicks kind of feels like, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, like one of those plays where you play Wicks, right? And you are just getting way too cute, right? You are just trying to get as cute as possible, and it doesn't end up working. So I would definitely go with Odell over Wicks. I really like the game environment for Odell potentially being a super high scoring game. So we're to go with Odell over Wicks. Again, I know Odell shit the bed last week. Basically every single player on the on the Ravens shit the bed last week. So that shouldn't really come to a surprise to anyone. Like Zay Flowers had a bad game. I know Likely had a good game, but besides that, it was kind of a bunch of duds for that team. So I think I would rather go ahead and just go with Odell Beckham Jr. I think that Wicks is a fine play, but Wicks feels like you're getting really cute considering Romeo Dobbs might just get 10 targets. And, you know, the Carolina Panthers defense, while bad, has at points this season been, I would describe as sneaky good. So let's go with Odell. Let's go with Odell. Next question from TC. And then let me just scroll down the chat here real quick. And then actually we'll answer Sherry's question first, TC, and then we'll come back to you. I apologize. Sherry's question is, thoughts. Lineup is Dak, McCaffrey, Pollard, Higgins, Evans at the flex. Rice. Oh, Rice is the flex. I apologize. DST is the Broncos, Bass. All right. Bass had a pretty bad game, but again, that's not your fault. So you got Keenan on the bench. Can't do anything with him. Schultz, you've got in as your tight end is. Am I blind? Dak, McCaffrey, Pollard, Higgins, Evans, Rice. Who's your tight end? I don't think you put your tight end. Unless I'm blind. Dak, McCaffrey, Pollard, Higgins, Evans, Rice, Broncos. All right, so not knowing who your tight end is, I think your lineup's correct because you're not playing London, Spears, you're not playing Stafford over Dak. So your lineup's correct. Without knowing your tight end, unless your tight end is someone straight up trash, your lineup is correct. Charles, if you sent a super chat already, I'm still going down. I'm still like 10 minutes behind. Fine. So I'm going to try to answer a little bit quicker. TC, would you start the Texans, Bears, or Broncos defense over Philly? Need a flex choice. One, Brees Hall, Jacobs, Anderson in standard league. Good call on Puka, bro. Thank you, man. Texans, Bears, or Broncos defense over Philly? I think I'm playing Philly. I'm playing Philly over those guys. Need a flex. Brees Hall, Addison, Jacobs. All right. If you're down, which you aren't because you have Puka, I'd play Addison. But since I think you want to just go with the safest bet, Brees Hall is your safest bet by far. Great matchup against the Commanders this week. So I like Brees Hall a ton. Brees Hall. Richard, thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Let's see what Richard said. Richard's question was McBride, Hawk, Chandler, Flowers, Sutton need at least one tight end and then a wide receiver and a flex. Currently have Sutton, McBride, and Hawk at the flex, but debating Flowers over Sutton. Great question. All right. You got McBride, Hawk, and Sutton in. I agree with that. I would not debate Flowers over Sutton because, look, Sutton is like one of the safest receivers that you can get, right? Sutton is as safe as it could be, whereas Flowers is basically as risky as it could be, right? Flowers is as boom or bust as it gets, right? I could see Flowers having a good game. I could see Flowers having a great game, but I could also see Flowers completely and utterly being the reason why you lose. So when push comes to shove here, I think I would rather go with the guy that I feel a little bit more confident in, and that would be to go with Sutton over Flowers. So I think you've got it correct there. You've got McBride, Hawk, and Sutton in, and that is what I would do as well. Sherry, oh, what's that? Okay, yeah, I got that. Sam, hey, pick one. Thank you again for the super chat. Hey, pick one. Nico Collins, Downs, McLaurin, or Godwin. My gut tells me Nico Collins. The matchup tells me to run away from Nico Collins, but I'm going to go with my gut. I believe very heavily in Nico Collins. I think Nico Collins is going to end up having a pretty solid game. So we're going to go ahead and go Nico Collins. Hawaii on the vlog. Thank you for the super chat. Daddy Fergie or Waller, half PPR, starting CD2. Yeah, I think you have to go with Ferguson. I like Darren Waller a ton. I'm going to come back out of being in the darkness in a second. But I would go ahead and play Ferguson over Waller. I like Ferguson a ton this week. I think he gets his lick back against the Dolphins. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think playing Waller isn't necessarily getting too cute, but you are entering into a range where now you have to believe, like, you need the Giants to actually do something against the Eagles. And there's a chance, again, with how shit the Eagles have looked, that they just completely shut the door on the Giants. The Eagles' defense looks elite. And again, you don't need to be an elite defense to stop Tommy DeVito. I'll tell you that much. So I definitely go with Ferguson. Zach says Devontae Smith or Addison, Barkley or Pacheco. Zach, I'm going to go ahead and go Pacheco. I think that Barkley's technically safer because Pacheco is coming off of an injury. But again, I'm not trying to get cute with my running backs. Like, I really think Pacheco has the upside to be, I'm not even kidding, the number one running back on the week. When this guy has been healthy, he has been balling. So I'm going to go ahead and go with my gut, and my gut tells me to play Pacheco. And again, there's a chance that this team just gets completely locked up, right? Thrown away the key, right? The Giants can't do anything, and then Saquon ends up as a huge bust. So we're going Devontae Smith. We're going with the Eagles. I like Devontae Smith when he's playing. I think you have to play him. So Devontae Smith, and we're going Pacheco. Lil Swag, fire gamer tag from back in the day. Full PPR, you need 2, Zeke, A-Chain, Aaron Jones. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, with all of these players out for the Packers, I am starting to feel like this might be a vintage Aaron Jones game. And when I say vintage Aaron Jones game, I know some people might get a little bit nervous, but when I say vintage Aaron Jones game, I mean a game where Aaron Jones just gets a gazillion touches. Now, will it end up actually working or not? I don't know, because Aaron Jones hasn't looked like himself this season. But what I will tell you is I think Aaron Jones is actually going to get enough touches to potentially have a big one. So we're going to go Aaron Jones, and we're going to go with Zeke. I think Zeke has a bounce-back game this week against the Broncos. Aaron Jones and Zeke. Next question here. Hector, thank you for the super chat. Pick one flex. Godwin, London, Noah Brown. Thanks. 1 half PPR. I think you just have to go with Godwin. Now, I understand that Godwin has been a straight up fucking landmine this season, right? Godwin's been a guy that has not been safe at all, but he's been a guy that gets a lot of targets. He's been a guy that's heavily involved in his offense. So I would go ahead and go with Godwin over London and Noah Brown. I think London, it could be a scenario where the London Bridge is falling down. I don't know how I've never made that reference before, but it's true, right? This is a team that at any point could just completely fall victim to everything, right? Because their coaching is so bad, the quarterback play could potentially be so bad, and you could end up at the end of the week being not just very disappointed, like so disappointed to where your stomach hurts, right? You can't sleep after that one, right? With the amount of disappointment you might have if you play Drake London in a playoff matchup. So I'm going to go ahead and not get cute here. We're going to go ahead and play Godwin. Godwin has had 11 or more targets in back-to-back weeks. I'm just going to hunt the upside. Dallas is hard to run on right now. John, are you trolling? Did you watch the Cowboys game last week? I can't tell if you're fucking with me or not. But if you're not fucking with me, then yeah, the Mostert's gonna go crazy. What's up, bro? Joe, what's up, man? I need you this week. I need you as well. I need you. It's playoff time. Should I play Brees, Cooper, Hopkins at the flex? Joe, I got you, fam. I am going to play Brees Hall. I do not see a scenario, right? I'm like Thanos or whatever that guy. Nick, that's the wrong saying. I don't watch Marvel movies, so this is just off of what I've heard. So what I'm saying here is, there's like a guy, maybe what's his name? Oh fuck, he's in the Spider-Man movie. Oh no, what's his name? He's the old white dude. That's and he can like go like this, and he puts like a cube out, but it's not like a Rubik's cube, and it can like mend time. That's the guy that saw all of the possible scenarios, and you're winning in one, right? I've seen all the scenarios, and now everyone in chat that I can't see because I'm like hours back is probably like, oh my god, it's this guy, you idiot. I know, I'm dumb. I can't figure out his name. Someone in chat's definitely gonna tell me. Someone in chat has to know. Doctor Strange. Doctor Evil. Yeah, Doctor Strange. Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. All you nerds knowing who Doctor Strange is. No, I'm just kidding. I know who Doctor Strange is too. I just couldn't remember his name. But yeah, I've seen all of the outcomes. I don't see an outcome where the Jets get rolled. I just don't. I think they're going to hinge on Brees Hall in this game. We're going to see a lot of checkdowns to Brees Hall. I think Brees Hall is a great game, Joe. So Brees Hall, Hopkins, or Cooper, we're going Brees Hall. And again, I'll put my life on that one. Hopefully that ends up true because I don't want to die. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Pick 2. Flex, Collins, Addison, Rice, Gus Edwards, Hilaire. Pick 2. I can't play Hilaire with Pacheco back. Again, I like Hilaire. I think Hilaire is good. All right. So we're not going to get super out of the ordinary here. I think Rice is basically a lock to be in your lineup, right? If you sit Rice, you're basically just, again, what happens a lot is I've explained this and I'm going to explain it in short because we don't have a lot of time. In fantasy football, what a lot of people do is they greatly overthink things at the beginning of the season and at the end of the season. At the beginning of the season, you try to get too cute, and at the beginning of the season, you tend to get too cute. Don't get too cute with Rashi Rice. And then I think you're going to go with Addison over Collins. I'm just feeling Addison over Collins at this point. I like Collins, but I'd rather play Addison. I want a bad bitch. Jordan Addison, right? All right, so Addison and Rice. Justin, thank you for the super chat. Browns defense or the Broncos? Great question. I got the Browns. I got the whole world in my hands. Browns. Got the Browns at 9. And then you got the Broncos. I got the Broncos at 5. That does not make sense. Here, wait, let me just, before I say something crazy, I don't think that's how it should be. Defense. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm going with the Browns. A lot of websites have the Broncos ranked ahead. I'm gonna go with the Browns. I trust the Browns a lot more. I think they're a way better defense. Our Gravy says 4-point Fields or Purdy, Nico or JSN. I'm going Purdy over Fields. I love Fields, but I really like Purdy this week. I think Purdy's gonna have a pretty big game. So I'm going to go with Purdy. In 1 second, guys. 1 second, guys. It's going to take 2 seconds. Jared Goff, Bijan, Adams, Nico. Okay. All right. Fields versus Purdy. I like both Fields and Purdy this week. You'd be crazy not to. Purdy has been the much more safe player. It's 4-point passing touchdown. Oh, that kind of gives the edge to Fields. Fuck. I'm going to sit here like an asshole for half a second. I'm going to look at my rankings again. Yeah, we're going Fields over Purdy. We're going Fields. My gut told me Purdy, but the rankings tell me Fields. And sometimes my rankings that I make, I sit there for hours making, they make a little bit more sense than me off of a hunch. So I'm going Fields and then Nico or JSN. I think JSN's way safer, our gravy. So if you want the safest bet possible, go JSN, but I'm going Nico. So we're going Fields and Nico. Steven, thank you for the super chat. PPR, Ty Chandler or Josh Jacobs. If Josh Jacobs is playing, which he is, I think you have to play Josh Jacobs. Again, I get the argument to be made against him. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Josh Jacobs is this must play because this season he has been far from a must play, right? From a week in, week out standpoint, he hasn't necessarily been this beast that we want him to be. But what I will tell you is that when, you have to actually put the goddamn lineup in, I'm going to put Josh Jacobs in there. I think Josh Jacobs has more upside than Chandler because, again, while I like Chandler, Madison is going to be there. Madison is going to get carries. I think Josh Jacobs fully back, they aren't just magically going to include. They're not just going to magically include fucking Zamir White, right? Like, I just don't really see that happening. So I would 100% go ahead and lean with fuck. What was I saying? I would 100% lean with Josh Jacobs. I'm not going to overreact and go with Chandler. Thank you, Gustavo, for the super chat. Started flex, Javonte Williams, ETN, or Ty Chandler. Happy holidays. Thank you, man. Happy holidays to you guys. Merry Christmas to everybody. We do have to go slightly faster now at this point because I am behind. There's like 20 minutes left in the stream. So I am going to answer these a little bit quicker. But Javonte Williams, ETN, or Ty Chandler. Happy holidays. ETN, I told you guys, ETN's mom wished for Christmas for better offensive line play out of the team. And honestly, that's what I wish for Christmas as well for that team. It's super frustrating to watch a team that I think is as good as that team and watching them just squander every single potential game that feels like they could win because they're just not given or they're just not using ETN enough, right? I think that ETN needs to be used a lot more. And again, the offensive line play hasn't been great. But again, gun to the head, this is how this works. I'm picking ETN. I think that ETN is going to come out and have one of his better games of the season. I think that this is a team they need to win, right? We have entered Jaguars, might not make the playoffs, right? Now, again, they'll probably make the playoffs, but they might not make the playoffs, right? We are in a legitimate scenario now, all the way fast forward to this week, where the where the Jets are obviously not making the playoffs, where the Jaguars may not make the playoffs. A couple of weeks ago, you would have said, Nick, it is not only a guarantee. It is not only a guarantee. It is guaranteed, right? You would have said, Nick, it's a guarantee that they're going to make the playoffs, right? Everyone thought that. They were the fucking 1 seed, right? They were looking like one of the best teams in the National Football League, and now they're dead in the water. They need to give the ball more to ETN. This is a hinge game for them. Trevor Lawrence is playing. We're playing ETN. Rondale, thank you for the super chat. Goff or Fields? I'm going to play Fields. I like Rondale Moore. Not Rondale Moore. I like Jared Goff a ton. But I think you have to go with the upside of Fields. This is a big matchup for Justin Fields, a great matchup for him. This feels like the kind of a game where he has one of his better performances of the year. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Justin Fields. Again, the upside is so high for him. Basically, ever since he's came back from injury, aside from the Vikings, he has been amazing. So I'm going to lean with him, who has been great all season. Or not all season, but great recently. So we're going to go Fields. Andrew Ray, Rice, Waddle, JJ, Ayuk. I'm sitting Waddle, right? Yes. You can't sit Jefferson. You're not sitting Ayuk. You're not sitting Rice. Do I think Waddle could have a good game? Yes. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I think Jalen Waddle is going to be shit. in every single game going with Tyreek, right? Because that's just impossible. But I do think that based upon the guys that you have, Waddle would have to be the odd man out there. So I agree with you. I'd start Rice, JJ, and Ayuk. Caleb, thank you for the super chat. Swift or A Chain, Ridley or Henry. Great question there. I would personally go. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. This is kind of a cop out of an answer. Caleb, what's going on, man? Appreciate you joining the stream. I think the cop out answer is that I'm probably going to play, like, if this is my team, I think I would play Swift, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I think A-Chain's gonna have a decent game, but I could see the Eagles just handing the rock to Swift a million times. Swift having, like, this huge prolific game because the Eagles have been so bad. So I like Swift, and then Henry or Ridley, I'm going Ridley because I don't think that this could be a game where it's a Henry game. This could also be a game where the Seahawks are spanking them. Henry can't do anything, so I'm gonna go with Ridley. I just think Ridley's in for a big game eventually. I mean, he's just been so bad recently. 4-point touchdown. Love, Tua, Baker, Aaron Jones, or Ty non-PPR. Great question. So Tua, Baker, or Love. I'm a Tua guy, obviously. I think I'm going Baker. We're going Baker, and then we're going Aaron Jones over Ty. So we're going Baker over Tua and Love. I just think Baker, he had a great game last week. The Jaguars matchup's pretty solid. And then we're going with Aaron Jones. I like Aaron Jones a lot this week. Half PPR, KE Taker, thank you for the super chat. Gibbs or Evans need to make up for Diggs. All right, we're going to have to get into a scenario next week where we talk about how Diggs is no longer even close to a must start, where Diggs has basically fucking hit us with the 619 Rey Mysterio 4 out of the last 5 weeks. I'm done with him. So we're going to go ahead and go with, let me boost Tua's projection. We're going to go ahead and go with Gibbs over Evans. I think Gibbs at this point in the season, Evans is must play too, but Gibbs is the must play. Gibbs is the must play. Gibbs has been the nuts over the last couple of weeks. You got to play Gibbs. You got to play Gibbs. You got to play Gibbs. Phil, thank you for the super chat. PPR, I need 2 running backs and a flex. Elliott, Connor, Chandler, Lockett. Let's go ahead and go with. Let's go ahead and go. Let's go Connor. We're going all running backs. We're going Connor, Elliott, and Chandler. Lockett's the odd man out because Lockett's projection every single week is basically impossible to figure out. This is a team this is a guy that against the best matchup will score 3 fantasy points. Against the worst matchup will get 30 points, and they'll have a bad matchup again. He'll score 2 points. He's so up and down all season. He's so unpredictable. And I guess that's what's fun about him, right? The upside's high. But I'm going to go with Elliott, Connor, and Chandler. Connor has been on fire. Chandler is a good back. And Elliott's kind of the safety net. So we're going Elliott, Connor, Chandler, Phil. Thank you for the super chat. Need one, Godwin, D-Hop, or London. Mixter, I'm going D-Hop. I don't love D-Hop this week. I'd be lying to you if I said I did because of the fact that Ryan Tannehill kind of sucks. But at the end of the day, I think that D-Hop is probably going to end up being a pretty decent play this week. I think that Godwin is a very good player, but Godwin for a majority of the season has been really bad. Now, if your question was Godwin or London, I'd be sitting here banging the drum aggressively. Hear ye, you need to play London. But in this scenario, you're going to go with D-Hop. Alex, thank you for the super chat. I would go with Sutton versus Addison. Alex, I'm going with Sutton. I like Addison a ton. I like the upside of Addison, but there's something to say about that complete and utter safety that you have, that safety net in your lineup of Sutton. This is a guy that scores a touchdown. I think he has 10 out of 14 games with a touchdown. I think he finds pay dirt today. So we're going to go ahead and go with the guy that I feel has the best bet to score the touchdown, and that is Sutton. Now, would I be surprised if Addison had a huge game? Of course not. But I think that we would be getting a little bit cute if we played them. Okay, I see why there's not many 2 lineups now. Fuck. All right. Sutton over Addison. Sutton over Addison. Wesley, defense, Ravens, Bucks, Packers, Broncos, all available. I would go with the Broncos against the Patriots. I think the Broncos are, again, the Broncos defense looked broken last week. They've looked broken at points this season. They've looked amazing at points this season. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the Broncos are the safest bet out there. But based upon matchup, I like the Broncos the most. I just do. So I'm going Broncos. Broncos country. Let's ride. Killa, thank you. A-Chain, Javonte, Cortland Sutton, PPR if you need one, which is what this question is. You're going Sutton. I really like A-Chain and Javonte, but again, there's something so safe about Sutton. There's also a lot of upside that comes with Cortland Sutton. So we are going with Cortland Sutton. We're going Cortland Sutton. Guys, someone named Texas Made thinks the Dolphins are overrated. What a surprise, right? Especially the Cowboys are the best team in the NFL, right? Texas Made? That's how it goes, right? I'm only fucking with you, just so you know, but just messing with you, by the way. But we're done with the super chats. Now we're going to quick answer all these questions. Rashi Rice, Moore, Nico, DK. I'm going Moore, and I'm going Rice. I'm going Moore and DK. Tight end of flex, McBride, Kittle, Henry. Go with both tight ends. Last week of the playoffs, because of Bijan and Olave and Tyreek were injured. Should I play Etienne or Bijan? I would play Etienne. Do I go Noah Brown or Alec Pierce in the flex? I go Noah Brown. Jets, Ravens, or Colts? I'd go Jets. Kittle or Njoku? I'm going Njoku. Jacobs or Chandler? Jacobs. OBJ, McLaurin, or Cooks? Cooks. Spock, should I start Gibbs or Etienne? I'm going Gibbs. Chandler or Connor? Connor. And do I ride Miami D pause or pick up the Jets? I'd pick up the Jets. Smash that like button. Facts. You guys think I should start Singletary or D-Hop in my flex? Happy holidays. Thank you. I would go Singletary. Anyone starting Wicks as a desperation? I think Wicks is a fine desperation play. I do. Right? I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Wicks is the best bet ever. I'm not going to do that. But what I will say is, I don't know what the fuck is happening. I'm just not going to sit here and pretend like he's like this must-start player, which seems like a lot of people are trying to do. A lot of people are talking about how he's like a must-start player, which I just don't think he is. But I do still think he will have a semi-decent game. Again, I'm just not telling you guys to hinge your life on him, which it seems like a lot of people are trying to do. Start one, Swift, Singletary, or Connor. I'm going Swift. Ferguson or Gibson or Lockett. I would go with Ferguson. Laporta or McBride. Laporta. And what about the other spot? A-Chain or Pacheco? Pacheco. We starting Bijan Robinson with confidence. Not with confidence, but I think so. It's okay, Texas Made. I was just fucking with you, just so you know. Again, don't take too much of what I say to be the most serious thing if I'm messing with you. Now, I think a lot of people can tell when I'm messing with them. So, yeah, I think the Dolphins are. Look, we lose today. Everyone's going to say we suck. We win today. Everyone will crown us. I don't know. I mean, I think the Dolphins on paper are better than the Cowboys. The question is, can they execute when it's a big game? I don't know. Cowboys can execute when it's a big game. I don't know if the Dolphins can. That's really what it's going to be. Montgomery or Chandler? Montgomery. Chuba or Zeke in the flex, full PPR? Ron? I'm going Chuba. I'm going Chuba Hubbard. Swift or Rice? Rice. Aaron Jones, A-Chain, and Connor. I'm leaning Connor. I feel like Connor's been hot recently. Okay, so yeah, go Connor and A-Chain. Did you get my super chat? Charles, I don't know if I did or not, but I'll answer your question now. I might have already answered it. With Reed out, Schultz or Kraft? I'm going Schultz again. This is a tough question. This is a really tough question. But I'm going to go Schultz. Again, I think Kraft. I think if you play Kraft, you're basically just getting so too cute in a way. Like if you play Tucker Kraft, like I think Kraft's going to have a decent game. He's in the same range as Schultz, but I think I just trust Dalton Schultz a little bit more. So I'm going to go with Dalton Schultz, the guy I trust a little bit more. Happy holidays, Superflex, Flacco or Murray? You know what's crazy? You asked me this 2 weeks ago. I would tell you, bet your fucking horses. That is, bet your horses as if you have horses, right? Bet your life that Murray outscores Flacco. But now we are in week 16, and there's a pretty decent chance that Flacco outscores Murray. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like that's like out of the ordinary. but you're definitely playing Murray against Chicago. Even though I have in a way today kind of slobbered on the knob like corn on the cob onto the Chicago Bears defense, but you're not sitting Kyler Murray. Let's just keep that. Let's just be honest with ourselves. You're not sitting Kyler Murray for Joe Flacco. Again, Joe Flacco's a guy that at any point this season could eventually turn back into dust, right? We remember how he looked with the Jets, right? I know he's looking great now, and maybe it's just the fact that the Jets are such a buns franchise that's why he looks so bad. But I think there's a possibility that he's just cooked because he was on the Jets. But I'm definitely going Murray. Again, no need to get extra cute today. We're going with Kyler Murray. Going Kyler Murray. Vic, Bears or Eagles defense? Great question. This is another one. Where you could easily overthink this one. We got the Bears in a good matchup, but we have the Eagles. Look, I cannot sit the Eagles against the Giants. I just can't. In this scenario, I'm not doing it. The Eagles defense might be absolute dog shit. And I'm fully fine acknowledging that the Eagles defense might be straight up trash. But what I'm also ready to acknowledge is that the Eagles defense might turn Tommy DeVito, the Italian stallion, the Passin Paisan, into dust. So I'm going to go with the Eagles defense. I'm not going to sit here and overthink things, talk it over with myself, because then I might galaxy brain myself into the Bears, which is not what we want to do. We want to stick with our guns, and our guns say the Eagles, especially since the Eagles defense looks a lot better now with Matt Patricia calling the defensive plays and not that stooge that was calling them beforehand. So we're going to go ahead. We're not going to overthink. We're not going to get cute. We're going to go with our gut, and our gut tells us to go with the fly, Eagles fly. I mean, I hope the Giants beat the Eagles, if I'm being completely honest with you, but that's just because that would be funny. All right, next question. Thank you for the super chat. Vic, I appreciate you. Zach, thank you for the super chat. 8-team full PPR. Chuba, Singletary, Amari, and Saquon need to flex one. Oh, lordy. Oh, lordy, lord. This is another one that's going to keep you up at night. Another one that's going to keep you from sleeping correctly tonight. We're going to go ahead and go with our gut. And our gut is not playing Saquon Barkley. Our gut is playing Chuba Hubbard. I know the rankings say Saquon. I know it does. But I'm starting to really worry about Saquon. As we get deeper and deeper into the weeks, I'm starting to fucking panic big time on Saquon Barkley. I'm starting to think that Saquon Barkley might end up being a straight up dud this week against the Eagles. I'm going Chuba Hubbard. I think Chuba Hubbard's going to get 25 plus carries. I think Chuba Hubbard's going to go crazy. I'm going Chuba Hubbard. Next question here. Oh my gosh, we have so many super chats. Zach, need a flex, non-PPR. I appreciate you, though. Barkley, Elliott, final thoughts. Merry Christmas. Love the content. Thank you, man. Merry Christmas. Non-PPR, Barkley or Zeke. Fuck. We just talked about Barkley. I think I answered Zach's question a couple days ago. Oh, geez. I don't want to fucking sit here and have a panic attack here, but these are the kind of questions that again, I'm an expert, right? I'm just a guy that talks about fantasy football. I've talked about this a bunch, but I'm going Zeke. I'm starting to really worry about Barkley. I am starting to really wee woo Mayday on Saquon Barkley. We're going Ezekiel Elliott. I think Ezekiel Elliott versus the Broncos defense should have a fine game. I think the Broncos defense is fine, but I'm going with Ezekiel Elliott. Again, Barkley might really shit the bed, Zach, so I'm going Zeke. The team I'm playing is stacked. I need the most points possible. 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. Rice, Ridley, Adams, Taylor, Wilson, Bijan. I got you. So you're definitely playing Rashee Rice. That's not even a debate. And then you're going Adams. Again, Adams is pretty risky, but you got to go Adams and Rice. And then you are going to go Jonathan Taylor. He's pretty boom or bust. And then we are just going to rip the tape off here and go for the highest upside option that might end up shitting the bed. But again, you need the most points possible. We're going Rice at receiver. Obviously, he's a must play. Adams is pretty boom or bust, but Adams you're obviously going with. Jonathan Taylor, Wasn't even a question. You're playing him. And then we're going to go with Ridley. Now, I actually like Bijan a ton, but I'm going to go with Ridley because I can see Ridley scoring 35 fantasy points. I'm not even kidding. So I'm going to go with Ridley. We're going to go with Rice, Ridley, Adams, and Jonathan Taylor. Richard Wolf, thank you for the super chat. Ridley or Hopkins. Richard, if you want to be as safe as possible, you play Hopkins. If you want more upside, you go Ridley. I would lean as of right now with Ridley. As of right now with Ridley, again, it's basically a toss-up, so I'm not going to sit here and just fucking pretend with you, play pretend, and tell you like, oh, it's a guarantee, this, that, or the other thing that Ridley or Hopkins are going to have a good game, right? I don't think that's a guarantee. But my gut tells me to go with Ridley over Hopkins because Hopkins I don't love with Tannehill. Thank you, Jeff. Here's another 3, half PPR, Pollard, Henry, Hall, or Elliott. Okay, Hall and Pollard lock them in. Then it's between Elliott and Henry. There's another one. Like, look, safest bet possible is Elliott over Henry. The gung ho answer, like, hey, I'm searching for the most upside possible, would be to play. Fuck, I'm trying to find something on the screen. The most upside possible argument here would be to play Henry because I think that Henry could either shit the bed or have a huge game. The reason why I think he might shit the bed is because this is a game that could easily get away from the Titans and they have to or they have to pass a lot. This could also be a game that the Seahawks crumble and Henry gets maybe a lot of carries. But I'm going to go Pollard, Hall, and Elliott out of those guys. Patrick King, thank you for the super chat. Kraft or Aaron Jones. Another one, don't get too cute. I like Kraft. I really do like Kraft. I think Kraft's a talented player, but you have to play Aaron Jones. I get he's coming off the injury. I get Aaron Jones. I mean, I get that. I think Dylan's playing as well. But again, I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to get cute in this scenario. We are going to go with the guy that I like the best. And the guy, all right, 1 second, guys. I'm like talking out of my ass. I'm trying to put something in. And I got to make sure that's in. And then I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to do it quickly. Okay, I figured it out. I just missed one guy. I clicked on the wrong guy in my DFS lineup, and it was giving me a huge error. Error. Okay, so the reason why you would go with Aaron Jones is because Aaron Jones is a guy that I think could take over in this game. They barely have any receivers playing. I think this is the game where Aaron Jones goes absolutely crazy. He has one of his best games of the year. I just feel it in my bones. Mike Hunt, thank you, Mr. Hunt. I was touched inappropriately by a mall Santa. Make sure that you report that. That's a funny-ass joke you got there, buddy. Patrick King, Love or Tua? I would go with Tua. I like Jordan Love a decent amount, but I'm going to go with the Tua upside. The argument that, hey, this game against the Cowboys goes into a shootout, and and Tua has a huge game. I'm going Tua. Zachary, thank you for the super chat. I got to find your question, so this might be tough. Zachary. Oh, fuck, I'm waiting for all the chats to load, so I'll skip Zachary's question. We'll go back to him 1 second. Chicago native says Bijan or Gibbs. Gibbs, 100%. Also pick 2, Ayuk, Waddle, Ridley, Addison. Merry Christmas, brother. Merry Christmas to you as well, Chicago native. Hopefully it's not too cold out there in Chicago. We are going to go ahead and go with Gibbs for sure. And then I'm going to try to pull up Zachary's question. I can't find it. All right, I'll find it in a second. All right, Gibbs for sure. Then Ayuk and Waddle. Gibbs, Ayuk, and Waddle. That's your answer to that question. I like Ridley and Addison a decent amount, but I feel a lot safer with Ayuk and Waddle. Zachary's question was, I have Kittle and Ferguson and McBride, which 2? Ferguson, Kittle, and McBride, which 2? Kittle and McBride by a quarter mile. By a metric fuck ton. Kittle and McBride. I like Ferguson, but I'm not playing Ferguson over Kittle or McBride. Kittle and McBride, lock it in. Rick, thank you for the super chat. Let's see Rick's question. Rick Bloom. Need a flex play. Henry or Connor? I'm going Connor. I'm starting to really panic on Henry. I'm starting to really get nervous about Derrick Henry. We're going Connor. We're going Connor 100%. Connor over Henry. And then again for Zach, we're going with Kittle and McBride. Kittle and McBride. Ford or Connor? Connor, thank you. Merry Christmas. Thank you as well. No problem. I don't know why I said thank you. DJ Moore, DK, DJ Moore, Zeke or Walker? Walker. I know my computer's like lagging a little bit. It's having a fucking seizure. So I apologize. Making sure my lineups are in. All right, baby. Fins up. We got the whole Dolphins squad in. We need to fucking win today. A sweet victory. All right. Colts or Bears? Bears. Nope, Colts, Colts. Godwin or Ty Chandler. Chandler, good luck to everyone. Good luck. Connor, safer than Ford, I agree. Good luck, you filthy animals. Good luck, everybody. Wicks, Roshan, or Thielen. I would go with Wicks. No, I'd go Wicks, yeah. My dog. T-Law plays today, yeah. Or do I roll? No, I think T-Law's playing today. Cards put up 4 touchdowns. I hope that the Cards play good, but I don't know, man. The Bears defense look good. Merry Christmas to you, Ben. I hope you and your family are doing well. Love you. Hope you're having a good one, man. Good luck. Kick the bastard's ass in advance. That's a fact. Got Connor and Zeke, Walker and Cooper. Fingers are crossed. Fingers are crossed. I don't know what movie I was watching. No, I was watching. Thank you, John. I was watching Hell's Kitchen last night, and the guy in Hell's Kitchen said not only was he crossing his fingers and his toes, he was crossing his balls too. So maybe you got to do that as well if you're a dude. You know, Caitlin is a female. There's a couple of women in the chat, so it ain't just dudes watching this shit. Let's go Finns and Niners. That's a fact. Let's go Finns. Hope you're doing well, Spock. I didn't see what you were saying earlier on the chat, so I hope you're doing well. All right. My fantasy matchup's looking great for the week. I'll show you guys my matchup before we get out of here. I do have to drive to my fiance's house for Christmas Eve, so I'm going to leave in a second, but I do want to show you guys my lineup. Present, Gen A. Share screen. Window. This one. Share. Thank you, man. Merry Christmas, the dream. Just for the routine, rank my starting team. Hurts, Ridley, Higgins, Kyron, Connor. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good to me. I give that like an 8.5 out of 10. All right, so this is my team that I got right here. Team two of these nuts in your mouth. This is the semifinals here. I got Tua, Mostert, Montgomery, Lamb, Nakua, Ferguson, Goff, Cooper, Hill, Packers. Normally, I prefer to play Stroud over Goff, but Stroud's obviously out. I'm going against Gardner, Aaron Jones, Mike Evans, Waddle, Kelsey, Mullins, Swift, Collins, Jets. So let's hope that we don't get bent over a table by a Nick Mullins masterclass or a Waddle masterclass. Like if Tyreek shits the bed and Waddle has a huge game, obviously I'd be happy the Dolphins won, but that would suck. But yeah, this is a pretty good team. I got a lot of people hurt, but we need a win here. Team two of these nuts in your mouth. No, Stroud is not starting. Stroud is on the inactive. I want to play Stroud over Goff. Like if Stroud was playing even against Cleveland, I think I'd play him over Goff. I just feel more confident in Stroud than I do with Goff. But again, Stroud's not playing, so Stroud's chilling on my bench. And everyone on my bench is hurt. Stroud, Watson, McKinnon, Foreman's banged up as well. Yeah, Stroud is out. Stroud's on the bench. Stroud is chilling on the bench. He's inactive. He's out. All right. So thank you guys all so much for watching. I appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys' support this season. Let's hopefully come back next week and have just as fun of a stream. I love you guys generally deep down. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody. Have a great one. I'm going to be honest with you. I like Scott Hansen a lot. Scott Hansen, if you have multiple TVs, I have 2 TVs and I have a monitor. So I watch 3 different games, or I watch Red Zone, 4 games, and then 1 game. Let me tell you, Scott Hansen misses a lot of shit during the games. Oh, no problem, Tyler. No problem. Have a good one, guys. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. Hurts, Connor, Zeke, CD, Mike, Evans, Walker, and Cooper in my line. Good luck, man. Good luck. I'm skedaddle. I got to go. Got to go get changed. I love you guys. Have a great one, and I'll see you guys on the flippity flop. I'll play some nice lo-fi music. You guys on the way out. Have a great one. I appreciate all 54 people who super chatted. I appreciate all 47 of you guys who are still here. Hit the like button on the way out. We made a decent amount of money today. Again, thank you guys so much. Again, it's not all about the money. Anyone who's been here for a while knows that this shit's not about the money. Because when there was like 4 people here, I would live stream for an hour or 2 every single day. So we made some solid money today. Thank you guys. Nice Christmas gift from me. I love you guys, and let's all win our games today. Eat a W. God bless. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. Peace out. Adios. And amigas.